at me with a dirty gleam. It was like she wanted to hurt me. I seen it before, a beautiful night. I thought it could just be the white wine. Oh, here we go, it's a showdown between Geminis. Someone's going down, but it ain't gonna be me.
What's up, everybody? It's Brooklyn Prepper. How you guys doing? Part 2 of Q&A with Brooklyn Prepper. Alright? I got some more good comments, some more PMs. I had a lot more, but if I try to do them all at once, right, it's going to be a really, really long video. But ones that I didn't get to will be on my next Q&A. Alright? So, before... excuse me. Before I start this, right, I just want to give you a little update. Alright, my next video coming out maybe sometime next week. I'm building this really cool thing for the kitchen, right? It's going to be a whole kitchen setup video for the SHTF situation. Alright, so stay tuned. Look for that video. It's going to be coming out real soon. It's about a whole kitchen setup for the urban environment. Hey, rural too. You could use it too. But let's start our Q&A here. Alright, first up to bat is World Bank of Amro. Alright, so it's World Bank of Amro. He writes to me, hey Brooklyn Prepper, I'm a big fan of your channel and I'm a prepper. I'm impressed by the high quality of your videos. I was wondering what make and model of the video camera that you use and the software that you use for editing. Okay, brother, it's not a big camera. It's not a good camera. It's actually a cheap camera. It cost me 149 bucks. I think you can even get them cheaper now. It's called the Kodak, the Kodak PlaySport. All right. If you look online, you can get a good deal on them. But the most important thing when you're filming or you're doing your videos is lighting. See, above me right here, I have two of those, we call it those little spotlights with the silver cone spotlights. And I got one really pointing towards the back and giving light behind you, and one pointing off the side. You don't want them directly on top of you. So in other words, lighting is the big part of having a good quality video. Because you got any kind of one of those little flip cams, they're high definition video, right? But it's all about the lighting. If you have a proper amount of lighting, you get a good quality of video. All right, dude. So that's a Kodak PlaySport. Look it up on Craigslist, and you'll find them all over the place. I think they even go for about $139 or something like that now. Thanks for the question. All right. Next one is Simon 308. Simon, but he spells it SZYMON 308. Simon 308. All right. Says, hello Brooklyn, how you doing, Simon? All right. I really enjoy your channel and all that stuff. All right. But this guy is from Sweden. Okay. And he does prepping. He's been prepping for water. He does his food. He's been going along there. Right, but his biggest concern is where he lives. They're really got a lot of restrictions on firearms and guns. In other words, they make it impossible for him to own one, right? And he says, what would you recommend for defending myself at home in this content if the shit hits the fan? All right, brother. If I don't know the complete laws where you live in Sweden, but you know, you got to look at other things. If you can't own a gun, that's horrible. It's a horrible thing that you can't, right? But you got to look at, can you own a crossbow? Can you own a BB gun? BB guns are pretty cool too. Can you own a bow and arrow, right? So you start looking on those lines, right? And if you're going to use those things to defend yourself, right? A bow and arrow or a crossbow or something like that, just get good at it. You know, get out in the range, practice at it, right? Hey, getting hit with a bow is no joke, but if you really practice a lot with a bow, you could get really good. You know, I used to do a lot of bow shooting back in my younger days. I still could do it now. I'm probably pretty still good, but I got good at it, you know, because I used to do it all the time, right? So this practice, if you're going to figure out, you got to figure out whatever weapon you're going to use to defend yourself, you should just get a lot of practice in doing it. Even if it's a baseball bat, you know, practice with it, you know. All right, Bill, I wish I could help you more on that, but, you know, that really sucks with those laws. All right? Okay, this guy is FireDog529. FireDog529. He spells his name, FireDog, with D-A-W-G. All right? Okay, he has a question for me. All right, says, I'm not new to prepping, but new to dehydrating. Does food, especially fruit, lose any of their nutritional ingredients during the dehydrating process. I understand that the water is removed from the food, but does it maintain its calorie, fats, vitamin, etc.? Right? As far as I know, brother dog, right? Yes, it does. Like it, I would assume it loses some during the process, but with everything I read and heard about, when you dehydrate vegetables and fruit and everything, they retain their nutritional value. And that's what I'm hearing. That's what I read, and that's when I did my research, right? But as far as losing some, it might lose some in the process, but I don't think it's a hell of a lot, right? So if you're considering dehydrating and you worry about that fact, if it's going to lose some of its vitamins and all that, if any, very little, okay? And I recommend that you get into it. Get into the dehydrating and get into especially dehydrating fruit is the best, and your vegetables, But I recommend dehydrating, and you should definitely follow yourself on buying a dehydrator, like you're planning to do, and go with the dehydrate, right? As far as nutritional value, it doesn't lose that much. All right, thanks a lot, Fire Dog 529. All right, oh, look at my buddy Star-Lordish from across the pond in Staten Island, Mr. Star-Lordish. He says, what's up, brother? Here's my question. Does organic food last just as long as regular food? All right. As far as organic food and so-called regular food that people call it now, regular food now is not really food. All right? It's got so many chemicals, and it's processed, it's beaten down, and the nutritional value of so-called regular food is horrible. All right? Organic food, you're getting all your organic properties to because it's not done, it's not treated, it's not sprayed, and everything else. Right? As far as does it last as long as regular food? Put it this way, it lasts longer. If you really want to check something out, go into your supermarket or your grocery store and look at milk. Look at the expiration date on organic milk compared to regular milk. All right? And that would definitely answer your question. Right? It lasts a lot longer. It stays fresh longer. Right? Some of the things, you gotta remember they're freshly picked and everything, especially fruits. And it's with all fruits. Right? You buy them and you eat them or you dehydrate them. Okay, but as far as organic against regular food is, this is just my opinion, it's horrible. Just read what's in your food. This is a big problem with all America, with obesity, with high sugar, with heart problems, is all this stuff they're adding to our food, right? I'm not going to get totally into this whole thing, right? But really, do your homework on organic versus regular food. I know a lot of people say, organic's a little bit more money. It's a little bit more money, right? But in the long run, it's going to save you a lot of money, and it's going to save your health. That's my belief, right? You do your own research on organic food, and, take your time, and believe me, you're going to say, wow, you did. Because if you look at some of the ingredients they have in foods today, it's mind-boggling how much stuff is like. Just do yourself another favor, right? Look at a box of organic breadcrumbs, and you read the ingredients. It says made with breadcrumbs. It's bread. Go get non-organic breadcrumbs and look at the ingredients in that, and you tell me. Give me a comment, and then you tell me the difference. All right. So as far as it lasting longer, sure, I believe it lasts longer, and that's the only stuff I eat. All right. Thank you, Star-Lordish. Eat your organic food. I'll come down there and bust you up. All right, this guy's name is Bad Little Monkey 73. Okay, if you are prepping for long term, such as putting a garden in and stocking up on wood, what preps should be done for clothing? Not much has been said about prepping for long-term clothing prepping. And you know what? Bad Little Monkey 73, you are a bad little monkey. That's a great question. Nobody really dabbles on that. As far as myself, as far as clothing, I save a lot of my clothes. So when my clothes get old and stuff, I do bag them up and I bring them upstate and I got them in bins, right? So I do save a lot of my sweaters, a lot of long johns, you know, maybe worn out jeans. I save a lot of my clothes. Do I buy extra clothes for preps? Not really. I just save the older stuff. I do. You know, some stuff I discard if they're really bad, but a lot of clothes I save. And that's a great, great question. As far as my wife is a fanatic with saving the kids' clothes, right? Because there's always somebody that's going to need kids' clothes. And if something ever did happen, kids' clothes could become a great bartering object, you know? So keep that in mind. Save your baby clothes. Save your kid clothes. Hey, save your older clothes that are out of style. You never know. You might need them. Great question. As far as prepping for it, the best way I think prepping for it is just saving your stuff that, you know, that's out of style and, you know, maybe doesn't fit that good anymore. Or maybe you gained a few pounds and when the shit hits the fan, you'll lose that weight because you won't be eating all that McDonald's and shit. Right? Then you can put that clothes back on. On a joke with everybody, but that's it. Bad Little Monkey, thanks for the question. That is great. And if anybody has any comments and can answer his question, if anybody does clothing prepping, right, do a video response to this. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, Tell Land 200. Okay, you're absolutely right, Brooklyn Prepper, about nonsense. Only look for. Okay, he's going on the lines that we were talking about. Okay, let me just read this. Let's see, where they look at survival odds. Man, when you begin to look at, yeah, so he's talking about what we talked about in the last video. This I took from the comments. He was just, and I thought he made a good point. And he just was touching again on that whole city versus country, we call it battle. Like if you're in the city, you don't got a good chance to live. If you're in the countryside, you're gonna live. And you know, if again, I think it's false. I think you should be prepping for your area and preparing for the environment you live in. You know, hey, fish live in the water. You know, raccoons live on land. So you adapt to your surroundings. We're human beings. We can adapt to anything. We're the most powerful animal on this planet. So you just use your noggin when you just in any situation. All right, thank you, Telltale Land 2000, sorry. Okay, this guy is Apocalypse Hub. I have to agree with you on the urban and city question. I'm in Brooklyn as well, and the house is built like a fort. These brick houses from the 20s or older are made to last. We also have those additional gates you mentioned. A lot safer hunkering down for a bit rather than bugging out. Any advice or wise words for a fairly new prepper? Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to make your awesome videos. Hey, Apocalypse Hub. Hey, welcome to my channel and thank you. All right, you're in Brooklyn? Give me a PM. Tell me where you are. We'll meet up for a cup of coffee one day. All right. Any words I could give to a new prepper? If I was going to give any words to a new prepper, would be, you know, search YouTube, search the internet, jump on the forums and everything like that, and start seeing what everybody's doing, right? Start your preps off nice and slow, right? Don't overwhelm yourself. You start small, you wind up big, you know? And I really think it's awesome when people, when they first start prepping and they start getting into it and they start putting their own little thing into it. And the best thing, what I like seeing is when they start making videos. I love seeing new preppers get into it, watch everybody, right? And then start putting their knowledge out there. So this adds to everything because you're getting a fresh mind. He's taking everybody's advice and then he's doing, you always wind up doing something in your own style. And I really wish once you get started with your prepping and everything, help us out. Just, you know, make a video or two on some of the cool stuff you're doing, right? And share it with everybody. But welcome aboard and thank you. My word of advice is there's a lot of good preppers out there on YouTube. Check them out. You know, look at my my favorites and stuff. Check those guys out. They're all excellent. And once you get your own style going, right, make sure you share. You're in Brooklyn or I'll come after you. All right, thanks a lot, brother. Okay, Ohio Alone. Hey, really like the question, the Q&A videos. I believe it's really going to help a lot of people. I think I already know the answer, but think this would be a good one for your videos. At what point did you feel you had enough weapons and ammo? Very good. And felt you should concentrate more on your food storage, water, dry goods, etc. I think I seen a video a while back that I might have talked about it, touched upon it. You know, yes, I did. I touched upon it. But that's a great point. At what point did you feel you had enough weapons and ammo, right? I got to say, I think almost every prepper out there starts off as a gun prepper. That's my advice. It's always, your first thing is you want to defend yourself. You know, and what draws you to the prepping world is that lure, oh, I got to defend myself. First, let me start with my guns and weapons. But what happens to a lot of guys, and I got to say I was guilty of it too. You know, I fell into that whole thing, buying guns. I bought a lot of guns and stockpiling ammo, and then, you know, I think right after I got married, right, I turned around and looked at all the guns I had, right, and all the ammunition I was stockpiling, and the very little food that I put away, right? And I think at that point I said, you know what, I got a wife now and I got a family. It's time to start thinking about doing it the right way, getting more food, getting more water supplies, having water systems going, right? And what I did is I owned a lot of rifles, and I tell you the truth, I sold off almost all of them and kept 5. You know, so I kept 5 rifles, and actually the money I got from all the rifles sold, I bought really good ones. I bought my Bushmasters and stuff, but I kept 5. I think I got 5 or 6 rifles, right? And compared to all the ones I had, I'm even embarrassed to say how many I had. But right, I realized that. But don't get me wrong, a lot of guys like collecting guns. That's great. But as far as prepping, I think a lot of our preppers, us preppers, fall into that buying guns like way too many, right? If you really enjoy guns and the hobby and collecting them, that's great, because there's a lot of good guys out there, if you watch their videos, that have some awesome collections, right? But I was never really like a collector or like that. I like shooting, I love guns and stuff like that. But what happened after I got married, I said to myself, I got my wife, I got a family to worry about. Let me get my food preps going. Let me get everything else. And I started getting interested in the bug out vehicles and the dehydrating, the canning, and building water systems and stuff like that. It became a hobby, and I started enjoying that more than the guns. But that's to answer your question. Yeah, it was like, you know, right after I got married, maybe when I was about, how old was when I got married? I don't remember. I was about 28 years old, right? And that's when I just turned around. Thank you, Ohio Alone. I really appreciate it. And if you get a chance, check his channel out. He's a great guy. Okay, now I got a little question from Avon CT Style. So I'm probably Avon Connecticut Style, but it's Avon CT Style. And she asks, is your wife fully on board with you in regards to prepping? If yes, how long did it take? If yes, how long did it take for her to be on board? Could you maybe have her do a video with you explaining how she got on board and what she does in planning and preps, etc.? You know? Then she answered, no. Okay. As far as my wife, when did she come on board with me? Right? My wife was always on board with me. You know, does she do a lot of the prepping? Absolutely. She helps me out with some prep, but it's not prepping to us. It's having family time, like doing the canning and you know, the berry picking and the apple picking and then canning the apples and everything else. It's just been our way of life pretty much. We always loved the outdoors. We always loved doing stuff together, you know. And as far as being behind me, she was always behind me. My wife, I love her with all my heart, you know. She's my partner. She's my soulmate, right? And she's always got my back. You know, she's a good shot too. You know, but as far as prepping, she never really considered prepping, and I never really considered prepping until like it really came out with a name. You know, when the name prepper came around and said, "Holy cow, that's what I am." You know, but as far as her being on board with me, she was on board with me from the beginning, even before we got married. She knew my crazy ways and she liked it. She was attracted to it. Lucky me. But then it says, would I do a video with her? And my wife would never go on video. You know, she's camera shy and she don't want nothing to do with it. She don't want to do it. I asked her plenty of times and she said, "Get out of here." All right. But Avon CT Style, thanks for the question. And then she asked if any of my family members prep too. Yeah, my brother preps, and you know, I got close friends that do prepping, not really as hardcore as I do, or a lot of you people. They put a little aside, but they mainly depend on me. You know, they mainly depend on me. I'm the prepper out of the bunch. Like I said, you know, I'm the prepper out of the bunch, and you always got to have friends and family close to you, right? Because you're going to need a lot of people if anything does happen, because you need people to chop wood, you need people to garden, you need people to run security around the house, you need eyes, you know, people to take care of the children, you know? So just because people don't prep, don't invite them into your house. I mean, don't exclude them from your little pack. You know, I'm sure they have other things that are valuable that they can offer during a bad situation. All right, Avon CT Style, thank you for your questions. And no, my wife won't go on video. Okay, Ann Bear for Freedom. Howdy, friend. Feels like I know you forever. You know what? I feel like I know you forever too. But I only been watching your channel for the past couple of months. Funny how that works. Yes, it is. And you know what? And that makes me feel good, you know, and you know, same thing with me. I watch people's videos. You do. You feel like you got friends out there. You feel like you got this whole other world of friends and stuff. It's such a great community. This whole prepping YouTube community, you know. Okay, so here's the question. I recently got diagnosed with late onset diabetes. Sorry for the skip. All right, I am 51 years old. Thinks that's late enough. Not talking insulin yet. Trying to get a handle on it with diet, with moderate success. So in the event of an SHTF, any ideas on storing diabetic friendly foods or insulin if it comes to that? All right. I'm not a doctor. I'm not claiming to be a doctor, right? And whatever I say is just my opinion, right? This is Ann Bear for Freedom. Ann Bear for Freedom, okay? I'm not claiming to be a doctor or anything, and this is just my opinion. As far as being a diabetic and all like that, has a lot to do with your diet. You can get that under control, which I have heard, with diet. And far as storing some diabetic friendly foods, hey, there's tons of them out there. Yeah, there's tons of low sugar, no sugar at all different things you could find out there. Everything dehydrates the same. You know, you could jar things the same. It's the same thing as just making your prep food more geared towards yourself. You know you have this condition, more geared to yourself. But my suggestion to you is really find the foods that are good for you and start storing those foods, right? Whoa. Start storing those foods, right? As far as insulin, and thank God you're not on insulin yet, right? If it comes down to that, you know, you would try to store up as much as you can, but I think with a nice diet and everything, you're not even gonna have to worry about it, because if you're having some success with your diet already, right? Keep on going with that, you know, and you should be all right, right? As far as stocking up stuff, you want to stock up on knowledge, right? And go on the internet and search a couple of books, right? Do your research, and there's a lot of ways you can help yourself being a diabetic naturally, you know. And there's a lot of great people that have a lot of good documentaries on it, right? Just do your little search and you could find it. I'm sorry I can't help you a lot more with that, right? But keep up the good work with your diet. That means a lot. You know, get those vegetables in you. Stay away from those fatty foods, and not too much dairy, and you're going to be okay. And thank you, Ann Bear for Freedom. Thank you for the question, and good luck to you on your search. Okay, and good health to you. Okay, Laney Wag. I appreciate your videos. I was wanting to know if you sell your stoves that you make from the can. I am a single woman, and I was wanting to buy one. A few years ago, we had a major ice storm, and I was without power for 2 weeks until my lines were fixed. I wish I had one of those. You never know what is going to happen. Thanks. Right? Okay, that's Laney Wag. Right?